I really want to understand why in Ghana people are so comfortable with just peeing in public by the roadside. I live by the roadside. My house is literally by the street, unfortunately. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just driving their car, they'll park by the roadside, and you think they're getting down to do something extraordinary. They get down, get to the side of the car by the gutter, open their flap, bring out their shillong, and just piss into the gutter. And there are cars zipping by, there are cars moving up and down, there are hawkers, there are people are like, it's so normal, and it's the craziest thing to me. It's men who usually do this. I've not yet seen a woman do this. Women piss by the roadside. I've seen one woman piss behind some cars, but that's like not often. But the men are so comfortable with just parking, stopping, especially those driving, stopping wherever they are. You see a very nice car, a pickup the last time, and four nicely dressed gentlemen. They look like professors. They just came down, zipped up their trousers, and their shillongs were in the air, just doing their business. Like, how are you people so comfortable doing this? I'm a Ghanaian to be like, how are we comfortable with this? So pissing in public. Obviously, this brings to bear a more serious problem of the fact that we do not have public toilets available, right? We should have public toilets that are clean enough, placed in advantageous locations and positions conveniently, so that people can go in and do their business. When I lived in Europe, when I lived in Russia, I pissed very often, but every cafe, every restaurant had a restroom, and you could go in and say hi to them and go use the restrooms. Here in Ghana, we have a lot of stores. We are the country of business people and entrepreneurs. There are stores everywhere, but how many of them actually have toilets and washrooms? How many? You could start from anyone watching this video, just do a little experiment. From the beginning of your street to the end of the street, you can count, I'm sure, 20 stores. 10 is too small. Not a single one of them has a toilet or a washroom. And the question is, where are the salespeople? Where are their customers doing their business? They are pissing behind their stores. They are pissing in the gutter. They're probably pissing in rubber bags and throwing it into the gutter. It is so bad. So I think, first of all, local government should have a law, maybe it already exists, should then enforce a law that makes it mandatory for every public and commercial space to have a restroom. If you're having a store, a momo, if you're a memo vendor, if you're a provision shop, a salon, a barber, you should have a washroom. You should have a place of convenience where people can piss, where people can go to toilet, so that your customers can piss. Apart from that, passers-by should be able to come in and buy a bottle of water and use your restroom. Every place. Here, if you want to use the restroom and you don't want to do it by the roadside, like a normal person, you'd have to go to the nearest filling station, and they'll take you to some room where they are keeping their mops and their buckets and their brooms, or you have to go to a hotel. Apart from that, our stores and our saloons and our provision shops, we don't have restrooms. So I do think we have a public health disaster in this country, in Ghana, and it's made people so insanely comfortable with just doing their business in public, and it's so embarrassing. It's so bad. You see somebody neatly dressed, and maybe it's not their fault, the person is pressed and they're peeing. But why isn't it women? Why are men? Why is it that the men can't contain their urine? I'm not a man. How does the male biology work? Is it that men have a harder time containing their urine than women? Because you see men doing it more often. And me, what a boss my brain is that somebody will just do it. Last time I saw a guy, he did it, and then the Trotsky came and just ended the Trotsky. And I'm thinking he's going to meet his friends and say hello and shake their hands. Like, oh my goodness. You just piss by the roadside, use your hand to shake your thing. And then with that same hand, you're going to be eating, you're going to be greeting people. That's why I don't like shaking people's hands. I do not want to shake anybody's hand, because there are no restrooms in this country, so there are no sinks to wash their hands, and people are just walking around with piss and poop on their hands. It's very bad. So yes, public spaces should all be mandated to have restrooms, and people should also be a little shy and not get too comfortable with pissing in public. That's what I think. Right? This is just what's on my mind this Saturday afternoon. Yep.